This is the Think-Aloud that demonstrates concepts about print. It's called When Sophie Thinks She Can't by Molly Bang. So can anybody tell me where the front of the book is? Yep, right here. Good job. And can anybody tell me where the back of the book is? Yep, back here. Good job. And here's a tough one. Does anybody know where the spine of the book is? Yep, right there. Good job. So now when we want to start reading the book, where do we start? Open up the page. Yep, we start right there. Good job. So when we're reading the words, which way do we read them? Yep, from left to right. Good job. So I read Sophie loves. So now that I've read all the words on the first line, where do I go next? Good job. Yeah, you go to the next line. So working in the vegetable garden and exploring the woods. But today it's pouring rain and Sophie's inside trying to build puzzle pieces into a square. So now that we've read all the words on this page, where do we go next? Right, good job. We flip the page. So now that we see there's words over here and there's words over here, where do we start? And which direction do we move? Right, we start to the left and we read this way. So Sophie's sister walks by. She moves the pieces and suddenly they all fit perfectly. So now that we've read those words on that page, where do we go next? Right, over here. Too bad you're not smart, says her sister, and she walks away. Can anybody tell me what these little marks here are? Right, quotation marks. Good job. And when do we use those? Right, we use those when we're quoting somebody or when somebody is speaking. Good job. So the next day is sunny, not sunny for Sophie. I can't do anything, she thinks. She drags her feet all the way to school. Now, can anybody tell me what that is? Right, it's an exclamation point. Good job. And when do we use those? Right, good job. We use exclamation points when we're excited or when we're really trying to make a point, get a point across, or when we're yelling. Right, good job. Okay, so now that we see there's words here, we've read all those words, but there's no words on this page. Where do we move next? Right, we flip the page. Oh no, what's the one word on the board? How do we become smart? Asks Miss Mulry. Nobody knows the answer. They all think you have to be born smart. Flex those strong muscles of yours, says Ms. Mulry. All the children flex their muscles. Our muscles get stronger when we exercise, right? Now, can anybody tell me what that is? Oh, good job. It's a question mark. And when do we use question marks? When we're asking a question. Good job. When we exercise our brains by thinking hard, our brains get stronger too. Now, we've been learning about rectangles and squares. Today, we'll exercise our brains with a math puzzle using squares and rectangles. But I can't do puzzles, Sophie thinks. So now that we've read these words up in the top left corner, and there's words down here and words over here, where do you think we go next? Right, we read those words. Good job. So we read all the words on this page first and then move on to the next page. I know I have strong muscles, I'm good at soccer, and I work hard in the garden. I can't do puzzles and I'm never smart at math. But Ms. Mulry is talking. You're going to build a bigger rectangle out of 12 small squares. How many different rectangles can you make? Use the tools at your table or come up with another way. I can't do it, says Sophie. Make your brain stronger, whispers Paula. Just try. Paula gathers up a pile of square tiles. Think hard, Sophie, whispers Andrew. He takes a sheet of graph paper. Sophie sits and stares and stares. Maybe she can draw them. Oh, Sophie does draw squares, but her squares are all different sizes. So now that there's words here, and words here on this page, I know these words are in line and this one is to the side. But after we read this, which words do we read next? Right, good job. We read those words and then those. So which direction are we going on the page? Right, good job. We're going from the top to the bottom. So then we say, Paula has too many tiles. Andrew's graph paper has too many little squares. This problem is too hard. Ms. Mulry is smiling. She speaks to the class. I see you mathematicians struggling. Now's the time to use the most important word. That word is yet. So does anybody know what those are? Or what that's for? So when we see those, we just take a little pause before we say the next word. Right, good job. You haven't figured it out yet. Keep working, keep trying, and you will. Paula, Andrew, and Sophie work hard. Paula takes only 12 tiles and builds them into a rectangle. Andrew marks a red X in each square as he counts them. Sophie thinks of her garden. Her garden is a rectangle. The vegetables are in straight lines. Sophie draws a line with 12 different vegetables on it. She draws squares and the 12 vegetables. Paula, Andrew, and Sophie count their different rectangles, 4 different kinds. But Sophie is worried. Mine's not a rectangle, she groans. It's too long. It is a rectangle, says Paula. It's a very long one. We did it. Meanwhile, Ms. Mulry looks at the rectangles the other students have made. 6 rectangles. You all did it, she says. You've worked hard and gotten stuck. You've used the most important word, yet. You've tried and tried again, helped each other and solved it. Those brains of yours have certainly gotten stronger. Sophie feels the sun on her face. I solved the puzzle, she laughs, and it was a math puzzle. I did it. I can do it again. I'm getting smarter. When Sophie gets home, her dad has a puzzle too. I can't figure out how to fix this cabinet door, he says. Dad, says Sophie, you have to use the most important word. You can't figure it out yet. Can I help? And you know what? They do fix it together.